Good morning. I think we had a good open week, judging by the response yesterday. We actually recruited Monday, Thursday, and Friday. The coaches did. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Gave everybody off, all the coaches off Saturday, and on a normal week. Kind of done it different ways since the open date was so late or whatever. You know, if it's earlier, we usually practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. We actually gave them an extra day off in there since it was late open date. So we did get a couple guys hurt in the Texas State game, Cortez Cisco and Sam Miller, I think. They're the two that I can remember. I think Miller has got a better chance than Cisco in terms of playing. The good news is we got Marbles back going 100%. We got Colin Turner back going 100, looking like 100%. So we get some help in the secondary, hopefully. But all in all, I think a good week, and we'll see how it goes. But we're back on a normal week schedule. Get back on a normal game schedule, home game schedule. Got a tough game, obviously, with Georgia Southern, 7-1 on the year, 4-0 in the conference. I think what's interesting, they've already played 5 home games, which is unusual for a group of 5 team after 8 games to already have 5 home games. Only losses to Clemson. So they got a really good team. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. Both sides of the ball, really, and special teams. But they're running for 276 yards a game, and Wirtz, the quarterback, is the number 3 rusher in the league, and then Fields, the running back, is the number 4 rusher in the league. So really proficient offensively. We have a lot of respect for Bob DeBest. Back from when he was the head coach at Texas State, when it was Southwest Texas, or he helped Coach Fritz get that thing going at Sam Houston, and then, of course, we played him a couple years ago. He was the offensive coordinator in New Mexico. So we've seen it. Not that it's going to be any easier to defend, but we've seen kind of what they do and how he does it, and we've seen it for years, and they do a really good job at what they do. Defensively, number 2 total defense in the league, number 3 against the run, number 4 against the pass, 3rd in sacks, 1st in interceptions with 12. So, and then field goal wise and special teams, Bass is 11 for 11. So that's obviously has helped them out. But, with what kind of their success, whatever, when you look at it, there's a couple other things I think that's certainly worth noting. Turnover ratio, they're number 1 in the nation. I don't think I've ever seen a team after 8 weeks that are plus 19 in turnover ratio. They have 22 takeaways, and they've only turned the ball over 3 times in 8 games. Then when you top that, when you add the fact that they're also the least penalized team in the league, that's a great recipe for winning. Gaining turnovers every week, pretty much, about 2.5 turnovers they're getting a week. Plus, I think they're number 1 in terms of, I know they're number 1 in terms of penalized. I think they're right at 40 yards a game in terms of penalties. So really impressed with what they're doing. They're doing what they do really good, and the kids play hard. I like what they're doing defensively, and it's nothing we haven't seen. They're going to play odd front stuff, but they have big guys up front. And we knew about 9, going back. He actually played 2 years ago, but they've thrown, I don't know where 92 came from. He's a really good player, big kid that plays one of their defensive end tackles, whatever you want to call them. But so it's going to be a tough game. They don't blitz a lot. They keep a lot in front of them. I think indicative of a team that plays against the option every day. It's hard to blitz the option, and when you kind of look at them, their makeup is to keep everything in front of them, and they're good tacklers, and just don't give up anything big. So tough game, no doubt. I think hopefully our kids are excited to get back at home, and it's a team that has the best record in the conference coming in here at 7-1. So great opportunity for us on a military appreciation game as well. So questions?
Coach, hearing you talk for a couple of years now, you always mention good teams run the football and stop the run. It seems like Georgia Southern is that team. Are they the standard for kind of like what you've been referring to for the past couple years?
Yes, in that sense. Not necessarily in terms of, I don't want to do that necessarily offensively. They're also last in the league in throwing, which by far. But I'm saying, yeah, sure. But we would like to have more balance offensively in terms of what we're doing. But no doubt, I think if you can run the football and stop the run, you have a chance every week, especially especially when you're gaining turnovers and you're not getting and you're not getting penalized a lot. I mean, that's a great recipe to win. So, but in that sense, Chris, running the football and stopping the run, yes.
Looking at this game, you guys are going to go in there, type of first year division there, took the lead in their division by putting it on App State like they did. This is another pretty big game for you guys. You talked to the team about that?
No, actually I haven't, because we talked about it a little bit before the open week and leaving and stuff, and that was actually before they beat App State. So, I mean, I think, our guys know. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit as the week goes on, but I mean, some games sometimes kind of speak for themselves, and so, I won't say a whole lot. I think they get it.
As you mentioned, they don't throw the football a whole lot, so I don't know how it pertains to this particular game, but through all the ups and downs of the defense, the one thing that's kind of been consistent has been the pass rush.
Mhm.
Talk about that this year.
Well, I think the key for us, in terms of that, will be to get them in some situations that we can rush the passer. I was concerned about that going into Coastal Carolina because they're the second best run team, and I was concerned that you have to be able to get them in some down and distances where you can do. And we were able to do that against Coastal. I'm not saying we'll be able to do that this week, but that would be a great thing if we could get them in some situations, or maybe even get up, and have the lead and force them to do some things, and where we can rush the passer. But if they stay on schedule and ahead of schedule, the majority of the passers are going to be the play action type, and where they're throwing deep, and they're good at that. Coach DeBest has always had those crack and goes and all the schemes off the option, and they hit the first touchdown against App State. They hit them, whatever, and really, and I mean, you can talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, but you got to practice it and see it, and not only those secondary guys have to be good tacklers, they have to have their eyes in the right place. If they don't, then that was whatever it was, 65 yards right off the get-go, and basically they faked the crack. I mean, the guy came in like he was going to block the safety and didn't crack replace, and there they go. And so, I think that'll be a key too, Sean, in terms of us defending them. You can't you can't give up the 60, 70, 80-yard varieties stuff. You got to make them drive the field.
We talked before about Appalachian State and the kind of respect you have for that
Mhm.
program. So, I don't know if you got a chance to watch that game last Thursday, but just to see them put it on them like they did, what was your reaction?
My reaction is that I was impressed with what Georgia Southern was doing. They had a lot to do with it. I think about everything that could have went wrong for App went wrong. I don't know how anything else could have went wrong. Because Georgia Southern actually fumbled the ball 3 times, but got all 3 of them back. And then App, of course, they turned it over 5 times. 2 of them were ricocheted balls, and so I'm not taking it away from Georgia Southern, but I'm just saying going into the game, and then what was it, third play, the quarterback gets hurt, and then they got another guy that comes in, and they just, to me, App never really seemed to get back in rhythm, and give Georgia Southern credit because I'm sure some of that had to do with them.
The P40's coming back this week.
They are. They're back.
How vital was it to get that rest after essentially, like you said last week, 8 weeks of action, including the summer camp?
I think it could be a great thing, and so we'll have to see. I mean, I think it's a good thing if it's handled right and everybody comes back, and you get back in a good practice rhythm and all that. I think it can be great. We'll just have to see. I think each team is different, and and how they handle it, and but I think it could be a really good thing too. And we've had a couple extra practices, trying to be able to line up and defend the option. And the thing about those option guys is they always have a couple wrinkles for you each week. They'll have another formation, or they'll motion this guy and everything. So I'm sure there'll be some more wrinkles. But I think it was good to see it, but it's also been good too to because we had a couple extra days to kind of coach the scout team, which that's the trick. It's being able to coach the scout team up enough to where it looks something like the offense, and so that's been good. Matter of fact, Isaiah Phillips, our freshman running back, who we really high on, he's been the quarterback. He's doing a pretty good job. He's getting better every practice of running the option and stuff. But it's been pretty interesting.
How difficult is it to simulate that and try to just get ready for it?
Oh, it's extremely difficult. It just is because it's just you have to be able to. And I say simulate. It's obviously not going to look exactly or even close to exactly like theirs looks, but at least the idea, of what you get and, and how you're going to get it. And the thing too that you cannot simulate, which we won't simulate in practice, especially not this late in the season. I don't think I've ever done it. Is all the cut blocks, and we're not going to go out there and let our scout team cut our guys, But that's interesting, and because, and I've been for the last 2 or 3 practices, our coaches are talking, and we have drills on how to defeat the chop block and all that. But that's always something that's, that affects you that game, and then can definitely affect you for a week or two after too.
When you look around the country, a lot of teams, a lot of offenses especially, kind of rusty coming off a bye. Is there any kind of concern? How do you avoid that?
Just practice really. Yeah, it's a concern. I mean, it's always a concern. We've been so hit and miss anyway. It's definitely a concern. But we've worked hard, and I think the main thing you have to do is you can get some rest, which I think is good. But you also have to have some, where you're throwing and catching and doing all that full speed. And we've been doing that. I mean, we've been having drills and throwing, catching drills, 7-on-7 against the defense. Although our defense is not going to see that, but 1-on-1 against the defense, full speed, where because the only way to keep your timing up is to go full speed, and in the throwing game. And so that's all you can do. But I agree with you. I mean, I'm always concerned.
Is being in first place in the Sun Belt West the top of the conversation among players? And if it is, do you convince your guys, hey, there's still work to be done?
I haven't, to be honest with you, Chris. I haven't heard one person, coach or player, say anything about it. I mean, there's so much left ahead, and and I think it was, for us, really, that wasn't necessarily the deal. It was to win games and get back in it, and that's what we did. So I haven't heard anybody say it, really. So
You mentioned turnovers, and they're leading the nation turnover margin. At the same time, you guys have given one away at least once in every game this year. How important is that going to be during practice?
extremely important, and it's. I think it's too with the turnover deal. It's been a little bit frustrating because it's so spread out. It's not like this person, you're turning it over, and then okay, we need to make a change. I mean, if you go back and look at it, I mean, it's been, it's been very, very, just spread out, and stuff. So, but it's something that you practice, and and hopefully we didn't have much of a problem with that at all last year or the year before. Some of the same players too, but look, it happens. There's been some good plays on. Some of the other team's parts, and then some of it, to me, has been stuff that we brought upon ourselves. So you just got to correct it, move on. I've always said that, and being an offensive guy, I mean, you go in there and coach quarterback, and I can teach a guy he'll never throw an interception, but I don't think he's ever going to complete any balls either. I mean, he's never going to take any chances. And just like a running back, I mean, I know how to teach a running back not to fumble. You run with 2 hands on the ball, and don't ever take 2 hands. You cover the ball, but you're going to turn a 4-5 runner into a 5-flat runner, So I mean, you can't. I don't think you can harp on it so much to where the guys are afraid to make a play. But you just keep showing it on tape and keep emphasizing, keep going out and working the drills, and hopefully it works out. Because like I said, I don't want to go to extremes either. Like I said, like a running back, and you fumble the ball one time, you're out of the game. Well, then they're not going to fumble, but I don't know if they're going to get any yards either. So, it's a fine line there.
You want to be playing meaningful football when the calendar gets there. You guys have done that. It's probably the biggest game in quite some time. It's first in the West and first in the East. Just talk how important it is for this community to get out here and make this a true home field advantage.
Oh, I think it's extremely important, and I'm excited about the 2:00 game. It's supposed to be, at least unless something happens with the weather. I mean, looking extended, it's supposed to be a beautiful day. It's supposed to be a great day for football. So, it's 2:00, and it would certainly, I think, be a benefit to us, especially playing an option team that communicates a lot and motions guys a lot and everything. I certainly would help our defense for sure, because that's the thing about option teams when you go in. I mean, you can see they do a lot at the line of scrimmage, looking at leverage and how they do it. Like I said, and they're motioning guys from everywhere and stuff, and I think that that would certainly help our defense for sure.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.